presentation. He promised when he took the oath of office that we would build back better. He also promised health was on the way, and health is here. Help is here. I'll get to that in a moment. But in building back better, what he presented yesterday, he was in the tradition of America to think big. I always like to recall to my colleagues something I've said to you before. At the beginning of our country.
Now the big question is, when will I get a $1,400 stimulus check in my bank account? Well folks, in this video, I'm going to be answering that exact question. I'm going to be telling you all the latest news surrounding your stimulus check of $1,400. So guys, be sure not to miss out on this very important stimulus news. So you guys do not want to miss out on this very important video. On this channel, my goal is to provide you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check news. I want to see every member of my community receive a $1,400 stimulus payment, because I know that every single one of you guys need a stimulus check right now. So folks, tell me down in the comments, have you received a third stimulus check yet? Leave a comment down below saying yes or no. Now folks, here's what you got to know. Millions of Americans have already received a stimulus check. Now there are still many of you that are still waiting for the $1,400 payments to be sent into your bank accounts or mailed to you. A lot of you have a March 26th payment date on the IRS Get My Payment tool. That is, when you check my Get My Payment tool on the IRS website, you have a payment date of March 26th, even though it's already April 2nd, and you still haven't gotten a check yet. Folks, here's the solution to the problem. According to the IRS, if you have not received your payment yet, you should be receiving it soon, specifically by April 7th. If you want to closely track your USPS mail delivery of the stimulus payment, you can use Inform Deliver, which allows you to manage and track your stimulus check. There are actually a few people that also saw a March 26th payment date, but received the checks the next day, on March 27th. So it's kind of upsetting and disappointing to see that the IRS and the Social Security Administration have basically forgotten about all of you that are on federal benefits. I believe that those of you on federal benefits should have gotten a stimulus check first before anybody else. Now back in January guys, the IRS updated its website about mailed stimulus checks. The IRS stated, Get My Payment tool reflects the date your payment was mailed. It may take up to 3 to 4 weeks for you to receive the payment. Yes folks, 3 to 4 weeks for you to receive a stimulus check. This is so uncalled for and this is so disappointing. Folks, I just hope that it doesn't take more weeks and more time for this third round of stimulus checks to be sent out to those of you that have not gotten one already. Everyone that receives Ssdi, Ssdi, and railroad retirement benefits should expect to receive a stimulus check by direct deposit on April 7th. Your stimulus money should be sent to you on that date. Now, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki also said during a press conference, the IRS working with the Social Security Administration is on track to send those payments out this weekend. The majority of people should see them in their bank accounts on April 7th, Wednesday. And that is a positive step forward. But folks, for those of you that are on VA benefits, you're going to have to wait for a stimulus check. And I don't understand why veterans are the last people to receive their stimulus check, even though you guys serve their country. It is absolutely uncalled for. The IRS currently says that stimulus payments for VA beneficiaries who do not file a regular tax return could be dispersed by mid-April. But after much criticism from the public, the IRS did say in an announcement that after receiving data from the Social Security Administration, the IRS has begun the multi-step process to review, validate, and test millions of records to ensure eligibility and proper calculation of economic impact payments. Now folks, here are some things that might delay your stimulus check's delivery. Number 1, your stimulus check was deposited into a closed or temporary bank account. Number 2, you moved out of your old home and the IRS doesn't have a correct mailing address to send a check. And number 3, your check got delayed in the mail. Or 4, your payment was garnished by private debt collectors. Now if the Get My Payment tool gives you a payment date and says your check will be direct deposited on that date, then you can expect your check within 5 days of that date, according to CNET.com. That's all the news in this video, folks. If any of you found this video useful and helpful, be sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like.
Presentation. He promised when he took the oath of office that we would build back better. He also promised health was on the way, and health is here. Help is here. I'll get to that in a moment. But in building back better, what he presented yesterday, he was in the tradition of America to think big. I always like to recall to my colleagues something I've said to you before. At the beginning of our country, Thomas Jefferson, he tasked the Secretary of the Treasury at the time, Gallatin, to initiate a Gallatin project, which was to build into America. America was expanding, Lewis and Clark expedition, Louisiana Purchase and the rest, and President Jefferson tasked Gallatin to build infrastructure, Cumberland Road, Erie Canal, all kinds of projects like that, big. 100 years later, the presidency of Teddy Roosevelt, and in the centennial of the original infrastructure plan, Teddy Roosevelt put forth his infrastructure plan. It was called the National Park Service. Again, thinking big, transformational, making a difference for our country. And now, in this century, President Biden is undertaking something in the tradition of thinking big, being transformational, and creating jobs for America. It is quite remarkable, the comprehensive nature of what he put forward. We can talk about that in its specifics as we go along, but I'm very happy to see that as we build the infrastructure, we're also recognizing the need for the human infrastructure to be enhanced, whether it's a workforce development, whether it's recognizing that for everyone to be taken along this path, that we have to have child care, home health care, whatever. It's really quite a remarkable and comprehensive plan. And when it comes to infrastructure, I always say to our chairman, Peter DeFazio, the chair of one of the committees of jurisdiction, transportation, and infrastructure, our hopes are riding on you. It's about jobs. It's about the jobs in building the infrastructure. It's about the jobs that are created by promoting commerce, good paying jobs. But we need people to be ready for them, and that's what this package that the president put forth does. It makes bold investments in broadband, investing in long neglected areas of infrastructure, whether we're talking about clean water, getting the lead out, building schools, the issues relating to child care, as I mentioned, seniors' long-term care, veterans facilities, the list goes on. And again, more to come in the next package. But right now, what the president is doing is creating communities of color and rural communities, giving more opportunity there. So in my time in Congress, for most of the time, infrastructure was never a partisan issue. Only when President Obama was president, the Republicans insisted on a much smaller infrastructure package. But in the past, we had always been able to work in a bipartisan way because it was about a four-letter word,